Hi guys, I'm just going to walk you through how to update MoveIt to the latest release, which has a new turn and place system and new animations. So if I go play, this is the old system. It's got the ugly turn and place, it's got the ugly animations. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pause the video, I'm going to update to the latest version of MoveIt and we'll start from there. Okay, MoveIt has now been updated. So immediately watch what happens if I go play. Look at what his head's doing. The aim offsets are a bit stuffed because it's now based on the new system. If you want to continue using the old turn and place system, open up the animation blueprint, class defaults, scroll down to turn and place and select use legacy turn and place. And the aim offsets are fixed. Now, regardless of whether you want to use the new system or the old system, there are updates to the animation graph that you will want to apply because it will make the aim offsets behave a lot better. So first of all, we're just going to drag these towards the end of the graph here. And then we make a bit of room here. We want to get that lock target node and just pull it out. And we'll put this at the end of the aim offsets. And the aim offset cache is actually going to be the final thing to be applied. So we're going to make a upper body cache here. And the aim offsets are going to use the upper body cache instead of the strafe cache. So there's 3 nodes to replace here. You can control click to do this. Okay, so now we're going to want to come into here and do our local to component. And we're going to find the weapon pose. And we'll disconnect him, again using control click to drag. He's going to get plugged into here. So I'll just move things along to make a bit of room. And now if we come along to a strafe, we can delete the strafe cache and we can remove the aim offset cache and just plug the strafe directly into the gate. Now if we hit compile and play, everything should still be working as before. Okay. So now the next steps are for if we want to use the new turn and place system. So first of all, come to class defaults, scroll down and make sure use legacy turn and place is unchecked. If you didn't turn it on, it will not be checked. So if we find this weapon pose node, and just before it we want to rotate root bone. Hide everything except the yaw and plug in root yaw offset. Now if we come to states, so we can do it here, anim graph, states, unarmed, unarmed movement, standing, standing, idle. And in this idle state we just delete everything. And I'm going to give you a link that will open up this page. And this is just a text document. If you hit Control A, Control C to copy everything, it will actually copy the nodes you need for the idle state. So if we hit Control V, now we have the idle state. If we open it up, you'll see it's just got the idle state here. It also has max transitions per frame set to 1, so it won't re-enter turning multiple times per frame. Has very low transition durations. Now if your custom animations do not match the idle pose, you may want actual transition durations to mask the transition. There is also an anim notify for start turning. And you'll notice several animations which may or may not work. They probably will not because they need to be retargeted. But before that, we're going to come to the event graph, use the anim notify start turning. Just plug it into start turning. Compile and save. So these animations that we do not have because they're not compatible, we will now retarget these. So if we come to the MoveIt folder, you'll see there is an anims v2. So filter animation. I can grab all of these and retarget them. I do just need to change the pose for the skeleton real quick. But that's because mine is not in a T pose. If yours is in the correct pose already, you don't need to do anything there. So now they match. So this will give me all of the new animations. Just going to save these. So the first thing we want is MoveIt idle. Plug that in. If I hit compile, that error will go away. So even though you replaced it, it just hasn't updated the node yet. So we want to come through each of these errors and update the corresponding animation. If at some point you get it playing the wrong animation, it's probably because you just dragged the wrong one on here. It's probably quite easy to do. So hit compile to update it. Right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to go to the crouching state, the rifle state, and the crouching rifle state and update all of them the exact same way that we just did this one. Okay, so now if we go play, it uses a new turn and play system. And the only two other things left to do is if we go to functions, override is turn in place enabled. So what this does is when I zoom in, so the idea behind this, or the concept, is that he's scoping in third person. So we would just want the character to be reasonably static. We'd want to have animations that keep the weapon in place so we can look through the scope. So what we want here is not aiming local player. So if the local player is not aiming, then turn in place will be enabled. So as you can see, when we aim, it disables the turn in place, so we can hold them there. And depending on your own game, you could do whatever you want with this. Just whenever you want it disabled, you want to return false. Now, the only other thing is there are animations besides the turn in place animations that we haven't yet swapped out. So if I just come into the moving state, start with the sprint. Then the move forward animation. and the run backward animation. And you will want to do this for the other states as well. So I'm going to pause it and do that. Okay, so now if we play, you'll see that he has new running animations. And that is all you need to do for the new update, unless you have custom states and whatnot. You will of course want to update those as necessary.